Okay, so merit scholarships is the area which most of us can absolutely make a difference on, and very few people actually land up taking advantage of merit scholarship. Firstly, merit scholarship is open to everybody. You don't have to be a grade A student to get a merit scholarship. Merit scholarship is a grandiose way for the colleges to say, we're giving you a discount. Mostly schools, the top 50 through 300 schools, top 50 onwards to top 300 will give you merit scholarships. All the other schools, including Stanford and all the top schools, they don't give merit scholarships. They'll say, we'll give you 100% financial aid to demonstrated need, or if your need is shown, but we don't give merit scholarships. So anytime any bullshit you hear about, oh, look at how much money we have in grants available, or, whatever that term they use for the endowment funds, that's not for you. Even if Pomona has the $2 billion fund, that's not for you to give to you. It is only there for the schools to make more and more money. So don't get carried away by those terms. It's about how much scholarships can they offer to you. Okay, the scholarships are either by financial need or by background, or these are the 4 areas based on which you can get a scholarship. We'll talk about 529. There was a question about it. We'll come to 529. Then when we talk about the various ways to invest towards the colleges, we'll come to that. We'll talk about UTMA, 529, and Coverdale bond. We'll talk about all 3. Okay, but that's a good way. 529 is, I also put money together. Only problem I have with 529 is you can't control what you put the money into. So your return on investment is not the best. That's why I love UTMAs. I like Coverdales because I have a lot more control over that stuff. But there are some drops to some negatives to that too. But this is the 4 kinds of like financial need. This one, most people don't really end up qualifying for. Some do qualify for this. A background does get you minorities, like, scholarships by religion. Your temple, your church could give you scholarships. Just check. There are so many available for artistic skills. Academic is typically where you get most. Okay, and particularly the field of study. So like girls in computer science, so used to be massive like till 5 years ago. Now it's still come down, but still girls tend to get a pretty big scholarship, even though there are more girls in colleges than guys now. Statistically, we have more, like 55, 58% of women, and guys are less in college, but girls tend to get more scholarships. These are some scholarships that are available even for, I have some for juniors too. So these are some top scholarships. Again, you can just look at these links and you can see what it is, but lots of scholarships available. Okay, I thought I was going to put one over here for freshmen and juniors too. I think I have it somewhere. There are links to the scholarships for juniors and freshmen. Basically, if you have a recommendation letter from a teacher, and you have your transcript ready to go, you've put together 1 or 2 essays, you're good to go. Pretty much that's really all what it is. Most scholarships they try to make it harder, but the harder they make it, remember this thing, the competition is lesser for you. Okay, so it's kind of a delicate dance. So talk to one of the counselors who can tell you, like your own school guidance counselor can tell you which scholarships are available to people from your school. Okay, it's a good way to build relationships with your guidance counselor too. How do you find these scholarships? When you do a free scholarship search, you'll find lots of them. Okay, try to get like a spreadsheet. Like I said, put about 100 of them in there. Think, what do you think you have a good chance with this one? Even if you don't get any of them, I'll tell you something. Just the fact that you are making those applications and with your child and making them understand this whole process will make you so much more bold and gutsier to go towards college. And once you start putting essays together, like why I deserve this scholarship, you now get into the mold of writing persuasively. And if you're one of my students, I'm completely into it. I actually sit down with them and I make them go through the whole process. But yeah, it's the first 3, 4 which are hard. Once that's done, you just get into a repetitive process. You keep applying. And even if you apply like 4 or 5 a month, think of it, over 10 months, that's like 50 to 100 applications. One of them will get through. Okay. This is just some timelines for colleges. These are some of the junior year scholarships which you can get, and these are all linked here. So but these are all scholarships available for juniors. And you're probably wondering, why are they for juniors? There are scholarships even for sophomores. Okay, but you can see how the system is trying to be smart about this. Okay, what happens is somebody comes up with a scholarship and says, I'm just making it available for sophomores, and they think they'll go reach out to less people because of that, and then they'll give some scholarship to somebody they know. You can't just cheat the system because there's an audit around this whole process. This fairly audited because everybody who's putting a scholarship together is getting a tax write-off for doing that. So the process is very well regulated in general, but these are available to juniors. 5 tips for applying for scholarships: polish your presence, which is make a resume, right? Look, just do a Google for yourself before you start the process. Make sure you have a professional account on LinkedIn, right? Think of all these things. This is the stuff where parents can really help the students, and don't throw it on the kids. They won't be able to figure this out. I mean, this is where they need your help, and you should help, because the income or the output, if at the very bare minimum, is a beautiful partnership with your child. Try to stand out and look at all this, what I've written, send a video along with the application, stand out. Let's learn some of these things, learn to, follow the prompt. And this is something which I have 12 creators who come to me. They write grandiose, beautiful essays. The problem is they haven't answered the stupid prompt. And this is a problem fundamentally. So don't show, don't tell. These are this is golden stuff, know your audience, make an outline, follow instructions, show, don't tell, right? Give experiences, what they've changed you into, stay positive. This is stuff which you should be talking about in your applications as well, in college applications. So this is literally getting ready for college, and you're still getting paid for it if things work out here. Okay. Don't make any stupid, silly mistakes. Make sure you go through Grammarly, make sure there's no spelling mistake anywhere. Make your child do it. Come back to him, make it, and then go and see what they've written, go through the process with them again, okay? And make sure you get good recommendations from your teachers. Your teachers should know about this thing. Try to help some others in the school also get some of the scholarships, and tell the guidance counselor in the school how you ran maybe a session on doing scholarships. That will show up in your recommendation letters. The more good you do and let your guidance counselor, your English teacher know, that will show up in your recommendation letters, okay? So it's a conundrum. And it pays back. And apply for several scholarships. You just have to get used to this thing, applying to lots of them.